the sky is throwing for you. No more, no more. I'm feeling something I never felt before. I'm feeling something when you walk right out the door. I'm feeling something when you leave me wanting more. I'm feeling something when you leave me wanting more. I'm feeling something I never felt before. I'm feeling something when you walk right out the door. I'm feeling something when you leave me wanting more. I'm feeling something when you leave me wanting more. When you leave me wanting more. When you leave me wanting more. When you leave me wanting more.
Okay, almost there. God, I hope this works. So many people are counting on me. Let's try this.
System initializing. Stand by. Stand by. Software version 3.784. System online.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl number 5. As always, presented by Star Esports. This is a double elimination tournament bracket dedicated to the Overwatch Tier 3 community. I will be Poor Zach, your play-by-play today. Joined with me is Moshi Man on color.
How's it going today, guys? I'm Moshi Man. Looking forward to casting you got today with we got Akron, University of Akron, and Scion Esports coming up.
Yeah, should be good. Scion, of course, being our recent champions of the last match. But before we get into that match, we're actually joined here today by the manager of University of Akron, I believe.
Good evening.
All right, so why don't you just kind of say who you are and tell the people what generally you do as a manager.
So I'm Moto. I'm the manager for Akron Overwatch. I find scrims, make sure the players show up on time, and just really anything they need from the program, and just provide general structure for the team.
Yeah. And how does running like this esport team kind of work when you're doing it through a university?
Well, essentially, it's just a plain old program. We have a director, we have student coaches and captains, and we have student players. And we usually we meet up for scrims and we enter competitions. It's
Yeah.
about
And
that simple.
yeah, fair enough. And how do you kind of go about the process of picking somebody? Is it like, do they like apply for the college and they get in, and then you guys host like a tryout sometime during the year, or how does someone go about that?
Yeah, we host tryouts at least annually, sometimes more often than that. We have a Discord community through our school officially, and so in the Overwatch section, we post a link to applications, and so we choose and we go through all the local people first, and then we have looked into recruiting a little bit.
Yeah. Now, have any of these players like been on this team before? Is it kind of like you have a somewhat different team every year, or is it kind of just everybody sticking around for a while?
So a lot of us have been with the team. I'd say about half of us have been with the team since the beginning. As far as the starting roster goes, that's come and went. But we've only been together for 2 years now as a program in general, and so I'm part of the half that's been around since the beginning, and then about half of us have been brought on just this year.
Yeah, it's still a very new program. It's pretty exciting to see, especially when people are going to college and they're offering these programs towards the esports. It's really fun. How did you kind of see yourself getting into that manager role?
Well, I started out playing last year because I just fell in love for the game competitively, and then our manager graduated, and I just saw it as an opportunity to get some good experience in management and just a good resume builder.
Yeah, that definitely seems like the way to go about it. Moshi Man, anything you'd like to ask?
I'm just interested in like maybe the daily life of a team member, like a player. So like, do you guys meet up and LAN for scrims, or is it all kind of online? And is the dorm internet good enough to host a scrim?
So we actually have dedicated facilities that we've built. So we have a big club program. So there's a whole area dedicated to them. There's like 40 or 50 computers. And then there's also 2 varsity spaces with enough for each of our teams.
Okay, that makes sense. So you can kind of scrim in there. Does the university offer like scholarships for this program, or is it all like a club kind of thing?
We offer $1,000 a year to players right now, and if they can prove to be worth more, we may consider giving them more.
That's really cool. Yeah, I don't have any more questions, but that sounds like a really awesome program. Best of luck with everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Super excited to see these players go in today, and good luck going up against Scion. I'm sure this will be a great match, and thank you for coming in for this interview before the match.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, treat. All right. Ooh, with that being said, we're gonna be heading in here in a little bit. Scion Esports, of course, being the winners from last Overwatch All-Star season. It's got to be a little scary coming in here. It's your first tournament here, and you're facing up against right now what is arguably the best team.
Yeah, and this is the first match, right? So like, it could go almost either way. Like Akron has not proven themselves in any sort of in this competition beforehand. So, but Scion's being the previous champions, I'm sure it might take a mental toll on Akron, but they rise to meet the challenge, and that's one of the most exciting things about Overwatch to begin with, competitive Overwatch to begin with. So definitely looking forward to seeing the great plays and everything that comes out today.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. And don't forget, while you're watching these plays, you can go down below. You can vote for the MVP of the match, whoever you think was really popping off, whether they end up being on the winning team or the losing team, whoever you thought was really doing their job and really showing up today. Make sure you vote for them down below. We will be having an interview with them after the match, of course. Like I said, win or lose, whoever you vote for that MVP will get that post-match interview.
Always interesting to see the perspective of the players. We get to ask them, questions while the adrenaline is still flowing and they're in the heat of the moment kind of thing. And it's great to experience their enthusiasm too. So make sure you guys get your favorite players on the board and we'll interview them for you. Just get some words from them.
Yeah, should be very interesting to see here today. This, I believe, is our first college team actually participating in this tournament. So hopefully this will lead for more to possibly come come around and decide to join in as well. It'd be really interesting to see more colleges, do stuff like this, especially one that's really close to me. I think that's really cool to see, So maybe we see more in the future. But for right now, being on Oasis, we're gonna start off here on University. How funny is that? University of Akron. All right. So we're gonna start off here on University. It was meant to be. Meant to be.
It was indeed. Yeah, we got some interesting comps coming out. I'm not sure about Lols being on the Soldier, but that could be a hot take. And we've got some May and Reaper, Moira. That's all pretty standard so far. And the meta has evolved to like Diva. We see Magic on Diva with her new booster upgrade. She's going to be flying around the map here.
Yeah, and I mean, these compositions, really the only questionable one I'd say is going to be the one on the side of Scion here, while we're seeing what is basically the meta right now ran by Akron as they're moving in here. Right now, just focusing on Niche in particular, now having to back up a little bit. They have to be careful of Psy, though, on their right side. Could do a lot of damage. Niche was frozen for a second there, Worthy being the first one to go down, but Niche following right behind them. Now with both the Ryans down, the fight's still very even, but losing that Diva in that mech is absolutely massive. Jaden right now on a little bit of a side flank, just trying to get something done, get a little bit of an off angle, see if someone's out of position here. This point's not being cleaned up very fast. In fact, the Ryans are making their way back right about now, but of course that Diva being down, more players on the side of Scion just being able to stay on here a little bit longer. Of course, it looks like Midtown's gonna use that coalescence to try to make sure that they can secure this fight here. A freeze comes out alongside the aim bot here. Psy's gonna be able to take out 2 thanks to the help of all that damage coming through on Lols, and overall, it took a little bit longer, but Scion was eventually able to get that point.
Yeah, we saw the Maywall kind of block off the attacking team there, but Moira was on top of the wall, able to heal the team while they took damage, so they weren't able to clean up right there at the end really quick. I think that's just one of the contributing factors. But both Reinhardts went down, so it was kind of like a grind fest, But people were also dancing around each other, so looks like they're gonna have a flank here, flank all the way back, all the way to almost to the Mega.
Looks like they were going for a rotate to try to get that Soldier that was a little bit farther back, so I could have possibly held a little bit of fruit there right in front of their face and weren't quite able to grab it. Of course, Soldier, locking them legs. He's just able to run all the way out of there. The Blizzard right now being committed was pretty good, but Niche actually deciding to go in there and get a pretty good pin on to stun it. Now it looks like more players are going down. Niche also invested that shatter, but it looks like a bigger shatter was able to come through here from Worthy. No one really able to capitalize on that too much log going down, but it looks like that's going to be the end of that. The Soldier popping the ultimate at the end there. A little bit of a waste, but it's a Soldier ultimate. It's not the most powerful thing in the world.
Right, that's not a huge, game changer there. They're probably going to be able to farm that pretty easily. And they do have the May ult along with the Diva Bomb, which can really kind of stagger the team, the attacking team out of their advances. But they're going to have to watch out for a reciprocating Diva Bomb as it happens right now.
Yeah, they're going to throw that into initiate here. And now they know they pretty much have a free Blizzard, considering Magic's going to be a little bit farther back because they have to remech at this time. Able to get Worthy, that Reinhardt going down, absolutely massive. Now the May is also out of the fight. They have to back up here. They don't want to give too much percentage, but you got to look. I mean, they're about to be able to cap the point. It looks like the Reaper's going to be one to try to go in and touch. PMA may know they're there. No, they don't. They're looking at the right side. They know they have to come from underneath because they aren't going to make it through the point fast enough here. Jaden's going to be able to touch last second there, initiating the overtime, trying to kill that May. Now the only one on point. This May wall's been up. Now using that Death Blossom to get stunned out of it. The Shatter comes through. It looks like they're going to be able to kill Jaden, and because that Shatter hit Worthy, they die to the Diva Bomb going down. It looks like this point may just be over to the side of Scion to begin with here. Maybe University of Akron had a little bit of a home field advantage considering this is University, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Lols going in there using that visor, able to get 2 now. Just trying to make their way back to the point. Actually able to stay in overtime a little bit longer here. Worthy on that ball, staying up for a little bit longer. Jaden now going down, and that's going to be the first point over to the side of Scion.
Scion looking very dominant there. There was maybe only one push that Akron really kind of brought it to them, and they kind of each time they kind of fizzled out. They just got picked kind of early in the fight. I noticed that the Soldier was able to kind of hold the high ground there, especially on University, and that's something that can be hard to deal with if you don't have the mobility needed on your DPS or your tanks. They did have the Diva, but Diva is not always able to kind of solo and go alone, chase down a Soldier, force him off the high ground, But that's something you try to do. not always able to happen. But we'll see here on the on this next map what will be in store. Interesting team cops. We see Doomfist and Roadhog. The soldier is still up, and now we're gonna have the Worthy back on the ball on the side of Akron.
Yeah, Akron right now is trying to initiate a really good dive, and an anti-nade actually going in on that Roadhog. It's going to force them to back up the sleep actually right now on the side on the Doomfist. That's going to lead for them to be able to not get too punished if they were to decide to jump in there, but not quite yet. Losing Worthy is a pretty big part of their dive. It's a lot of damage they miss out on. But of course, they're going to be able to make it back fast enough with mobility. So right now, I think what Akron probably wants to do is just try to back off a little bit and wait for him to get back. But they're not going to get the chance. Scion running straight in there. They have a little bit of an anti-dive composition considering they have this Doomfist and the Roadhog. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Akron to actually go in there and try to clean up any kills too much. Right now, Log's probably their biggest target. They're able to get a few picks here, but it's not going to be enough. Lul's able to get 3 kills there at the end and continue to move forward. Jaden just trying to run away.
Very, kind of a strong hold there from Scion. Didn't take nearly as long to clean up Akron as last point. We saw the Ana and the Lucio kind of left alone on the high ground, which Ana kind of got a good sleep. Midtown Man got a sleep, but it just didn't make a difference in the end. They're going to try their next assault now, though, so see what happens.
Yeah, and right now, pretty good full spawn to start off onto Log, losing out on Log. Of course, that is a lot of damage possibly going down here because the Discord Orb, they're able to take out another one. The Nano right now on to Stun Ape. The Genji trying to get some done. They don't have the Blade to try to get combo that together. They're going to be able to take this point, though. If they turn around, they might be able to get PMA. PMA running as fast as they can. They're going to be able to get Gummy and PMA. So they're going to be able to hold on to this point a little longer.
Yeah, only 38% for the side of Scion. They're in it. Akron's in a pretty decent position here. They've got Blade and versus the Doomfist ult, and now they have the Mines, which is gonna might put a stick in a wrench in the plans of Scion. But Jaden goes down like immediately, getting hooked by the Roadhog.
Yeah, and as they continue on, they lost their Ana really fast at the start there. Just swinging around the point right now. The percentage, though, is about to be even if they do cap it. But the fact that they barely had to use any ultimates to continue on in this fight is really good for Scion, because that is one thing that they're more or less down in when it comes to these fights is that ult economy. And right now, just looking at Akron, I mean, they have the ults to use, but as long as they use them effectively, that should be the big thing.
We saw Scion use it all on that last push, but that was it. And if we can note that Akron didn't use any of their ults on defense, so they just kind of let him have it.
Yeah, losing out on Gummy, that's a lot of damage, and coming close to a grab, if they were high enough charge, that could have been built up during this fight, so that's very good for them. Using this beat right now, trying to secure it a little bit longer now, and PMA also using the beat a little bit later, though, so they're going to have the advantage when it comes down to it. They weren't able to get those picks there before that was able to come down. They got a few, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. They're going to go back, reset. They know they have one more fight. Might as well make it a full team fight.
Definitely. You got to have 5 against teams like this, especially Scion. They only have the Blade left. We might even end up seeing a Graviton from Gummy, though, so that's going to be a huge defensive pivot on the side of Scion. If they could kill Zarya before she gets grabbed, they might find success here, and they're also going to have to watch out for Lulz the Troll. So, best of luck to Akron, and looks like they're going to go in now with the Nano Blade.
Yeah, but they were discorded, so they weren't able to actually pull out that Nano Blade. They were afraid of getting killed by it, and right now it looks like this Soldier Visor is just going to be able to go through and pick off 2 people, but of course, Jaden seems to just be that saving grace, getting at least 1 pick, it seems, every fight to start it off, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. 1 pick isn't enough to take out an entire team. You have to make sure you get everybody in that. It doesn't look like that's going to be what they're able to do here. Stun Ape going in, trying to get that Lucio. Log popping that ultimate a little bit later to secure that his teammate stays alive. And speaking of securing, Scion secured that point, and now the first map.
Yeah, pretty clean wins by Scion there. It was really unfortunate to see the Genji go down so quick, but sometimes that's what happens. You just get picked right before you go, even though you have the Nano, and it all falls apart. So I feel like if they were able to get that Nano Blade off, they wouldn't have had any problem taking that point and potentially having another fight go down. So would have been interesting to see, but a good match overall. But Scion also looking really strong, kind of dominant at this point.
Yeah, Scion, of course, because they were able to do so good from their last, tournament here at Star Esports. It's not too much of a, not too much of a surprise. It's kind of something you more or less expected. You expected them to be very dominant here. You're just right now we're watching University of Akron, and I'm sure that they were able to watch some of the VODs. They've been getting ready for this, but going up against Scion, even if you do watch those VODs, they're a very powerful team. They're very strong. So it's still going to be super difficult for them. And they have two players right now that we didn't really see much of, I feel like, last time, that being Log and Lulz. So, it makes it a little bit harder considering they have different players in right now. So maybe that's why they ran that little bit different of a strategy on that first point there. Running that Brig can really make it difficult for someone to kind of go in deep, because the Reaper, he's either going to get frozen or he has to use his Wraith to get out after that bash. So you can't really get in too far in there. And then, of course, if you're coming in on a dive with a Diva, when they're moving in, a bash to stop them, the Whiplash. Brig feels like a really strong character right now. And I expect to be seeing her more as the tournament progresses. But right now, it looks like the teams are just kind of going through the ban pick phase right now for maps.
So far, we have ban Volskaya, and it looks like Akron is going to pick Rialto for the next map. So always like to see payload. Something that can be kind of divisive between teams is their performance on control or attack defend, and payload, and the other one that is the hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're pushing the payload, it's just a whole different feel, right? Like it's a lot less swingy, and whoever can kind of keep the momentum going kind of usually wins on attack defense and control. But on the payload maps, you can kind of take a break, definitely regroup, and then just dominate and push that card all the way. So we'll see if Akron can pull out their big guns here. They have competed in things like TESPA in the past, which is the university league, team competition, and other tournaments. But this is, of course, their first time in Star Esports. But yeah, also, guys, remember to vote for the MVP poll. I know we're only on the first map, but we've seen some dominant performances so far. Some of the DPS on Scion are doing a great job, and we've seen some great plays from Akron Esports too. So make sure you vote for your MVP as we move into the next map, on to Rialto.
Yeah, just something to keep in your head as the match continues here. And also don't forget, while we're at a little bit of downtime waiting for these teams to get ready on their attack and defense, you get to follow Star Esports here on Twitch, and then go over to our Twitter, our YouTube. Make sure you follow us on those platforms as well, so that way you keep up to date with all the action happening here. And while you're at it, might as well join the Discord. Just kind of keep fully developed and understand what's going on really in the whole world of Star Esports, and understand what we got coming up. Maybe there's something new coming up that you might be able to figure out if you join the Discord. I'm not saying there is, you never know, but you're going to be some of the people that get that information first.
Definitely a great resource for information on the league and potentially participating with your team as well. So, anyways, on to Rialto now. We've got our team compositions almost set up all the way. Pretty much the same thing from Akron Esports. We're going to have the Diva Reinhardt with the May Reaper. And then from Scion, looks like they're going to try to play with Hog and Ball. Although, on the attacking side, it's always a bit up in the air. So, interesting to see what these teams can do. And an interesting choice for a first point attack, especially from Scion.
Yeah, and now I kind of like seeing a Baptiste run on the defense here in place of the Moira. I think the Moira is still very good. This is kind of the meta composition. Everybody's been talking about it. This is what you're expecting to see in the Overwatch League and those top tier plays. But maybe we see something a little bit different every now and then. I really like the Baptiste, like I said, run on this map. That Immortality can be really good around the corners. And right now it looks like the first pick actually is going to be on to Lulz from Midtown Man.
Yeah, Midtown Man just getting a sneaky orb there. But we saw what happened is that Scion tried to rotate around the backside really quickly. Didn't completely work out for them, but the positioning from Akron now is a bit... They're not spread out, but they've caused Scion to be spread out. Worthy going down in the middle of that fight now.
Yeah, I know it's a very good pick so far, but I mean, losing Worthy is a pretty big thing. That's your shield. You probably want to back up here to this second corner and wait for him to get back at least a little bit longer. Maybe you throw up a wall to use as protection for a little while. Niche, though, looks like he's going in a little bit alone. A pretty good pull, though. That's going to be Magic getting demeched here. I mean, losing out on that Diva defense matrix is absolutely crucial right now. I mean, she's got that 3-second booster. She can run in the face of that Roadhog, but it looks like that won't be the case. Roadhog, Gummy running around there, getting a quick hook onto Midtown, taking them out. Now, as they continue forward here, it looks like they might have this being able to get captured here. But, of course, Akron respawning right now, I'm sure are going to try to go in for a little bit longer of a stall.
Yep, definitely worth trying to fight another time if they can get through those mines without dying. They got to be careful, and it's going to stall them out. Oh, what a pull! Oh,
man, that was pretty impressive. I assume Worthy was just trying to swing and hurry up and take out as many of those as possible, but a really good hook to just pull him through all those mines. It was a really cool play to see by Gummy. I'm not sure how coordinated that was, but still pretty cool to see. Lowell's actually using his Helix to jump over that wall and using his ultimate alongside that. PMA try to use that beat to keep him up a little bit longer. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. They're going to be able to take them out. Gummy actually running up there using the ultimate. A lot of ultimates being used right now from the side of Scion, but it doesn't feel like they're winning the fight. They're getting a little bit of progress, but because they don't really have those bodies to continue forward here, it looks like Akron might be able to stop this push. But in the back line right now, Gummy D-Mex is able to demech Magic, but just gonna use that bomb to remech really quick. You know, it can be worth it. And speaking of worth it, Worthy right now in the background, gonna hit a pretty good slam. Try to pair it with a Death Blossom, but Vlog was able to use his ultimate there to keep everyone up. And right now, Sai using that blade is met with Dr. Smile's feet. Doesn't look like anything's gonna come from that. In fact, PMA is gonna be the one to get taken out here. And another good hook. Gummy is just able to use what seems like anything to his advantage right now when it comes to these hooks, able to take out Magic. Picks still going back and forth, but right now it looks like Scion's finally finding their footing and moving forward now to try to take out the rest of Akron.
Yeah, that was a huge fight, right? Like, everyone was fighting on that point. People were not dying. I'm sure Scion was getting a little frustrated as they tried to go in. I think Akron is definitely gonna have to be careful on this fight, though. They don't have shield tanks, and they're gonna have to watch out for that hook. The hook can just grab Diva, and here comes the mines out from Akron.
Yeah, but right now the soldiers got you in his sights, but it looks like they're gonna get taken out super quickly by Magic. And now it looks like they're gonna be able to take this point back here, not let them push too much farther. They do still have a lot of time in the bank though for the side of Akron, or for the side of Scion rather. And actually Worthy hitting a really good boop onto Gummy now, putting them in the water, giving a taste of their own medicine as they move forward. Lowell's actually was able to get that pick on Worthy. PMA in the background trying to get the scene dying, but just dies for it.
Yeah, that may or may not have been worth it, but it looked like Akron was trying to push up pretty far, so maybe it was worth the risk. Anyways, they're going to have a little bit of trouble pushing through this area anyways. Akron going to have to be careful with those mines on the point, though. Lots of ults coming out from Scion.
Yeah, and actually they're able to pick up two there, Niche. Using that slam, putting that Lucio in the air with those mines, so they didn't really have a choice. They had to land right into it, and then booping, I believe, Jaden into some more of those mines. Really good by them. Now, Stunape actually committing the Blizzard here in what might be a lost fight, so maybe they're going to elect to switch on this next point. Not so sure. Worthy going in there, the only one left on the point now. Going to elect to just kind of, reset themselves.
Yeah, they want to stick with their team, get their hero change in for the last point, if that's the plan. They do have the mines, their ultimate, the hamster mines, so it might not be something they want to do right now, but Scion Esports extremely far up right now, with two on the payload kind of pushing, with their Lucio attempting to kind of pull them back. It seems like they're pretty spread out, and that's going to allow Akron to kind of take this last area, as is to be expected right next to the spawn.
Yeah, but it looks like they're actually devoting a couple ultimates here. The bomb and the mines have gone in. Log is going down. Lowell's using that visor. Not quite sure if they were going to accomplish much there. Didn't look like they probably were. But hey, still going in for it. Stunape actually, though, able to get 3 kills, it looks like, right there on the Doomfist. So far, it looks like a good swap. And we'll have to see how they continue forward here. They did get themselves a lot of space by pushing up, but Akron was able to reclaim that by going in.
Yeah, definitely. Scion looking very together now, though. Great job on Stunape shutting down and kind of finishing off those other heroes, though. Looks like Genji's going to dive in now.
Yeah, and actually quite a few ultimates used here. Log using their ultimate. And also, it looks like that beat was used from Akron. Death Blossom coming through. Worthy actually getting a seismic slam, picking up both of the supports here. PMA and Log. Worthy making that a 4K now on this Hammond, going in and doing as much damage as possible. Almost able to make that 5K, but Snape with a quick uppercut takes out Gummy.
That was a great job just cleaning everyone up, right? A lot of ultimates were committed to that fight. We saw Beat, and we saw Transcendence, and we saw a couple offensive ults that I don't remember because this is so exciting. And Akron came out on top.
Yeah, PMA using that beat to initiate here. Of course, now Stun Ape trying to commit in there. Doesn't quite, you know, find the ability to pick anybody off because of that beat. Still nobody being picked off yet. These mines have gone down, so that used up a little bit of that shield from Gummy as they're moving forward here. Right now, Stun Ape trying to focus the backline. Anybody that's going in from behind, Worthy with a really good slam, doing quite a bit of damage here, but the visor coming through. Also, probably going to do a little bit of damage on the team. Jaden right now up in that bridge is actually going to get taken out by that. Doesn't look like anyone else is. And Midtown using that coalescence, able to keep some of his teammates up. Now with the bomb coming through here, it's probably going to buy them a little bit more time. It looks like they're backing off a little bit. Everyone seems to be low. They don't really have much heals. Just that Lucio just trying to stay up for as long as possible. Losing out on your Moira now. They have to hurry up and regroup inside of their spawn. This point is just making its way closer and closer, and losing that Lucio right there is a little bit scary.
Definitely scary. They definitely have to wait for respawns here. They're going to just surge on the point. They're going to have to watch out for Zarya, though. She's almost at her Graviton surge. Looks like that's going to be up right now, and it's going to be thrown right onto the point. In combination with this Deadeye, that's going to be kind of devastating. Not very much left from Akron, but a good fight.
Yeah, Akron might actually be able to stay here a little bit longer. No one's actually near the point. They got 2 players in the backline right now trying to deal with them. Everybody that was on the point was taken care of, so overall, you know, Akron found their footing a little bit more once they were able to get to that 3rd point almost. They were able to start defending a little bit more. They still had quite a bit of time on the clock, though, for the side of Scion, so it was pretty much just a time game. You know, you had to make sure that you were keeping your ultimates in line. You had to make sure that whenever the enemy was using their ultimates, you were focusing them. They were doing a really good job focusing Lulz whenever that visor came out, but they were able to get one pick onto Jaden, which made it really difficult. You couldn't really jump in on that backline as much since you're losing out on the Reaper, which is a lot of damage onto what would be that Zenyatta. So, you know, making it a little bit, giving them a little bit of a run for their money. That's what I was trying to come up with. You know, I think Akron's been doing a pretty good job after that point. The first 2, it seems like they went a little bit faster.
Ready for battle.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the time bank, though. Scion Esports will only have 39 seconds if this goes back around, right? So that's not very much. But Akron did a great job on, like you said, after the first cap point. They used that long corridor and the corners to successfully stall out Scion multiple times, and someone has made the call to shut down Lulz to troll every time that, you know, they see him on the high ground or you see him about to visor. He made a huge impact in the first round with his ultimate usage. He's getting it like every minute, and it's very strong, especially against some of the compositions that Akron is liking to run. So let's see what they can do on attack.
Yeah, and while we watch what they're going to do on attack here, looking at the defense actually is a little bit more curious to me. They're running the Winston Zarya here, so going a little bit more divey, it seems like, in their backline, giving that bubble. It looks like he's actually, what Niche is doing is he's getting the bubble going in to prevent a lot of that damage, giving him a little bit more of his ult charge, and then once that bubble goes down, he starts taking a little bit too much damage, actually using his ability to get out of the fight rather than go in here. So definitely playing Winston in a more defensive style, and actually Magic getting demech before they get back into their spawn room. And, you know, that's unfortunate. They got to, like, switch back really quick onto that Diva, which right now is going to be what should be taking care of this farmer.
We saw a really cool rocket jump from Lulz to troll here onto the spawn side of Akron. We see the tanks here contesting the cart, just Worthy pushing right now, but Lulz and PMA Jellies going down. They were in quite a risky position, though.
Yeah, Magic was able to take out both of them, but Niche getting that nano is going to be able to run in there, and actually a really good sleep from Midtown stops that for being any more kills for them, but it looks like they still have to back up for a little bit longer here. You know, I think now's probably their chance where they can get a little bit more aggressive. They know that they're down a few players still. They're making their way back, though, as we speak, so maybe not quite as much time as they would have liked. This bubble goes down. Niche using his ultimate, that Primal Rage, gets pinned. So right now, Niche taking a lot of damage, getting very low, but actually Stun Ape's going to be the one to go down here as Lulz is running up to the spawn doors. They're all focused on Niche and getting taken out now by Jaden, and back up Stun. Now these snipers are putting in some damage. Log going down, and so is Lulz. Sai, though, back on that Widow is able to take out Magic, but I think they're just getting way too many picks for Akron, so now they just get to move this point forward, but they're using the grab, they're committing that. Worthy trying to get a little bit of a shatter in there onto Niche. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to land here. Pinning, trying to get something done. Bulls somewhere along the lines decided to go for a little bit of a swim. It looks like backing up. Maybe they just want to get a quick reset and change characters. Maybe. Nope,
Yeah, I'm
staying
not
on.
quite sure. They were making some pretty interesting and risky jumps beforehand, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just accidentally and missed their jump. A lot of pressure coming out from Akron right now, though. We see the Scion Esports team extremely spread out, despite Winston diving into the back line and taking out their supports.
And right now,
Akron's
Pick's
gonna have
going
to be
back
really
and
careful
forth.
now.
Yeah, but Jaden right now getting 2 really nice headshots onto the Soldier and the Mercy. So even though they're
that's
down
huge.
their supports right now, they're still going to be able to push up despite that. And as they make their way back here, Akron almost being able to capture this side, taking out Jaden though. So now that they're missing that Widow counterpart, that leads for them to be able to play a little bit more aggressive. This Hanzo ultimate going in to try to stop anyone else from touching the point. Both of these tanks, though, on there for the while being, now jumping onto that Hanzo, saying, you know what, go ahead, push it a little bit farther. We got the rest of our team down there, able to take out Stun Ape now also taking out Midtown. Bulls actually on the Bastion, putting in a little bit of damage, getting that Mercy boost. Oh, and there goes the bomb, actually able to take out Lulz. Magic, though, getting taken out before they can remech, and it looks like while they were really, really close, they weren't quite able to cap it, but with 40 seconds on the clock, they still have a chance.
They definitely do. They have to watch out for the Bastion. He was rezzed. They may not have been expecting that. They're just going to have to be careful and really work hard together to dive on this Bastion or just circumvent him and go around. We see a lot of long-range characters on the side of Scion with the Bastion, the Widow, and the Ana, supported by 2 very divey, there's like a dive half and a long-range half. So going to have a split focus on their attack or defense from Scion.
Right now, Lulz trying to hit a little bit of those cheeky jumps you were talking about earlier, but again, just takes a drink right now, losing out on the Mercy and the Widow. It doesn't look like anybody's actually going to be able to touch the car right now. They're so focused in the back line, and Scion now taking Rialto, the second map.
Dang, man. I thought Akron might have been able to pull that out there, but that was unfortunate for them that they weren't able to get to the first point there. That Bastion was pretty huge, I think. Just a lot of damage that they were not prepared to deal with.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, right now watching the play of the game from Worthy, I mean, that was really cool to see, just getting a quick little 4K on that Hammond. You know, it's not something you get to see very often, but when you do, it's always nice to see. But now being 2-0, Scion in the lead, you know, this could potentially be the last map for Akron, you know? I mean, coming up to it, what are they going to pick next? We've seen Scion run these crazy compositions that they're somehow able to find a way to make work as long as they're taking the right positioning and being aggressive and just kind of, it seems like they're trying to not give Akron any time to breathe as they progress themselves onto the point and try to move that cart. They're just getting so much damage done from one side and then another. They just have so many angles they have to worry about. It's making it really difficult for them, it looks like.
Yeah, it's something about the compositions that Scion is running is like there's no hard counter to them because they're just running whatever, they're just adapting, right, to whatever Akron is trying to do. And they know how to play against the meta with each of their heroes. So they are able to run these adaptive compositions that just kind of stagger the opposing team, and they aren't able to come quickly, right? Come up with counter picks. You know, that's something that people often practice is counter picking and counter mapping if there's like picked and banned maps. And Scion doesn't seem to be impeded by any of that kind of thing, just because, you know, their composition is unconventional. So maybe Akron doesn't quite know how it works yet. That takes time, right? And that gives Scion just an inherent advantage. So I think that they're winning, and that pressure is definitely coming from that aspect. Something else that I think is happening to Akron because of Scion's decisions is that they may be feeling stressed and getting maybe tilted and kind of frazzled because of it, because they don't know the answer to this problem. And that's what Scion is, you know, facing them with. Your enemy is always the problem that you have to deal with. So their theories may not be holding true. So maybe they can rally and come up with something after experiencing them for 2 maps and get some wins under their belt. But back onto Control, we're going to head to Busan, the map chosen by Akron.
Yeah, now Busan, we're going back to that control point. We saw that it didn't go too well for them starting off on Oasis. But maybe Busan, they feel a little bit more at home potentially. So it'll be interesting to see what they run out here. We're going to be starting on the downtown. There is a chance for that Widow to be run again. And we saw, I believe, Jaden was doing absolutely just a bunch of work right there, able to get a few picks. Right now, I think when it comes to Akron, one of my stars is Jaden right now. So don't forget to go down below and vote for your MVP, whether it be from Akron or whether it be from Scion. We will be taking them in here post-match for an interview. So go down below, vote for whoever you think's really been popping off. Maybe you want to wait a little bit longer. I would myself, just watching these teams still go at it in what could potentially be the last map here. So just keep an eye on the players, and whoever you think is MVP, we'll have a little bit of a discussion with them afterwards.
Vote it up, guys. Vote it up.
Vote it up. And looking at the team compositions right now, it looks like Scion is going to be running that Hammond potentially. They're on some off rolls right now. This is what they decided to do against a Stray on Anubis. So feeling pretty confident in their play right now. But now looking at the other side, they're running a little bit of a dive on the side of Akron as well. PMA just kind of, spinning around. Not too much happening right now, but as I say that, Lowell's going down on that Lucio to his counterpart, Dr. Smiles, as they move forward here. Now taking a little bit of focus on that Ana in the back. The sleep goes through. Doesn't look like it's able to actually hit anybody. Stun Ape, though, going down to Gummy. This could be dangerous to them. The anti comes through onto the Hammond. They're not going to be able to do much with that. Of course, Hammond having that large health pool, and that really being the only damage produced onto them. Worthy going down, and Niche as well. It looks like Scion's going to be able to take this first point here.
Man, that was quite an interesting fight. They weren't really fighting on the point like a lot of the times you see teams do. But they were able to, Scion was able to successfully kind of split Akron and then just hammer away, right? Sci had some insane pins that were just like across the map on that first fight. We saw most recently him pin Ana onto the control point, and then also pin Diva onto the Mega Kit, like on the other side of the map before that. But it looks like now, Akron is getting a ton of kills.
As we talk about that, their dives are getting coordinated. Worthy was able to get a really good pick to start off there, and now as they progress forward, it's just PMA on that point, using those mines, trying to stall it out for a little bit longer. Worthy going down to them. But PMA also as well going down soon afterwards. The Shatter comes through, only able to actually pick up the Diva. They get slept, stunned, going for a dash into what really was the only mine remaining on point there. The pulse bomb coming through, of course, was stopped by Niche's immortality, and as they continue forward here, they were able to count the point, able to hold it on for a little bit longer here, as now the tanks are trying to stay up for as long as possible. The mines been put on the point, and speaking of the mines, here comes another bomb, a little bit bigger, but speaking of that, Worthy able to pick off two with those mines. It looks like they're going to be able to hold this point a little bit longer. When things got a little bit shaky, Worthy was there to make sure that his team was still able to hold on to this point.
They're definitely just looking for time stall here, and whether or not that works out in their favor, which it has, they probably don't really care. They just need to grind that percentage right now. They seem to be holding on pretty solidly. They're just getting the kills. The kills are showing up, the damage is coming through, and their positioning is good. They're grouping up as a team, and it's just kind of countering what Scion was wanting to do which is, kind of have two subsets, splitting them up with the Reinhardt, and then having a little bit of a dive comp with the Hammond and the Genji. So, interesting stuff happening right now.
Yeah, so far it looks like they're doing a really good job of holding on to this, keeping the pressure on. PMA running in there and pulling through that slam. Worthy trying to hit a slam back, but stays a little bit on top, just trying to get them away from that Matrix right now, and actually using this blade. They're going to be able to go through. They get nicks, they get lulls on the Lucio as well, but of course getting taken out now by Sai, getting really low. That hammer swing can do a lot of damage, but it looks like with that little bit that they were able to do, it's not going to be able to net them that fight win, even though they lost out on that Genji with that blade. Still able to pick off two, and those two being the supports, pretty big.
Yeah, there's not very much time left for Scion Esports. They're going to have to rush in here. City probably going to look to charge onto the point, or sorry, Sai probably going to look to charge onto the point, but there's just too much damage coming out from Akron. Oh, someone is on the point though. Who is it? It's Lucio.
Yep, it's Niche. But it looks like too many people have gone down now. Law getting bubbled though, so he's going to be able to not worry about a lot of that damage coming through. Still able to get a kill with the blade, but then getting taken out right afterwards. It looks like Akron's going to find themselves their first map, or rather their first round win here on Busan.
Nice work. I mean, after that first team fight, they were just getting value after value, rotating their ults. They were keeping the pressure on the backline, especially with Genji. So maybe that's something that Scion just didn't expect. So great work from Genji there. I believe that was Stun Ape, right, on the Genji. So might have been Jaden.
No, it was Stun Ape.
It
You're
was
right.
Stunning? Okay, wonderful.
I'm pretty sure. Unless maybe
Yeah,
I'm remembering
definitely.
it wrong. So,
It,
uh-oh.
in the end, it doesn't really matter. You know, they got a round win. I'm sure they're happy, and this is going to boost their confidence for this next map. This next map and potentially the next round if there is one.
Yeah, as they continue on, though, looks like they're going to be sticking with that similar composition. They're keeping the tanks on that same thing, switching up the DPS a little bit here. But right now, it looks like Scion are actually trying to run that Brigade again. I really like the Brigade. I think that they can put in a lot of damage and a lot of heals at the same time, so that's really good to get out of there. And Psy, though, using that pin, getting himself a little bit too far in the back, not able to get heals now as both of their supports go down for the side of Scion. Akron, finding their second win, is able to take out 3, not losing a single member so far. But as I say that, of course, Sunday goes down. You know, it happens, you know, every once in a while. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, but it looks like that being the only casualty, and that's a pretty good first fight win for the side of Akron.
Seriously, I don't know really what happened there. They just kind of got the kills. We saw the Tracer flank around, wait a bit of a second, not really joining the fight right off the bat. You'd think the Brigitte would counter that, but Jaden waited long enough and was able to pressure the Reinhardt, and where he was kind of sandwiched between all of the damage from both Jaden and the rest of the team.
Yeah, now initiating with that Coalescence, the wall has gone down. They're trying to get a pin, and actually they hit that pin on a Magic, now getting demeched, and I believe are probably going to go down in a second here. But as I say that, Stunape's actually going to be the one that finds the kill onto Gummy. These mines coming through right now, they're going to be able to get PMA Jelly, so that's that Zarya gone, but of course Worthy sacrificing themselves for that. And again, Jaden with another really good pulse bomb. It just seems like these are always getting value, and it looks like another ultimate's been used. Stunape able to get out that Zenyatta, so now racking up the percentage on this point. Almost at 50%, doing a really good job.
This may have been the map that, you know, Akron practiced the most. They're looking extremely strong right now, and they're not really letting Scion get any value. They're rotating their ults, but look at the carnage that's coming out now, though. They're going to have to be careful on the backswing.
Yeah, now it's getting a lot more difficult for them. There was a really good shatter by Scion to get 2 of the teammates down. That was Magic and Stunape, and just if it was just a little bit sooner, I feel like Dr. Smiles maybe held on to that beat a little bit too long, so they weren't able to get the full value out of that. Stunape went down, and again, Magic was really close to losing that mech, so it wasn't as much as they would have hoped for. But of course, they still have a lot of percentage on there. As long as they're able to go in with this next fight, maybe try to do something a little crazy with that bomb. Not much I think you can do. Maybe you try to do a seismic slam, or try to do a slam with that. It looks like Stunape's going to be the first one to go down, though, as they start initiating in this fight. That's not necessarily going to lose them the fight. The bomb comes through. It does some damage to the shield, but that's really just going to be it. The shield, though, being very low, and if that goes down, that could make it a little bit easier for them to find those picks. Now, it looks like that the Pulse Bomb, again, sees its value, takes out Psy on that Reinhardt, but now both of these support ultimates have been used by the side of Scion, so they're probably going to be able to keep this a little bit longer. Jaden getting the pick onto Lols as a little bit of a parting gift as they kind of just wait for the rest of the team to make its way back.
Now is the time for Akron to regroup. They've kind of taken some of the ults out of Scion's hands. Not a ton, though. They're going to be coming up on a couple, and they have the Blizzard right now, which they've been holding on to. Hopefully they can bait them into that, and then they're going to have another push afterwards. You know, they're only at 65%. Scion is, anyways. Looks like they're going to do a soft push. If they can get enough pressure onto Scion, they may be able to force them ults. Here comes the PMA Jellies with his whole hog. This may even be a successful push, despite the usage of ultimates on the side of Scion.
Yeah, it's looking amazing right now. They're able to pick up, it looks like, 4 people. And as they continue, they're now going to be able to get this point. They still have a little bit more percentage on the side of Scion, but coming into this next fight, I mean, they just have so many ultimates at their disposal. It's going to be really hard for Akron to hold on to this right now. You got to be looking over at Magic to try to eat that Blizzard, try to eat most of that Death Blossom that's going to be coming through in a second here. The Coalescence for both teams starting off, and now the mines are down at this little gap, and a pretty good shatter is going to be able to get 2 down right now. But Psy, the only one going down, the one that throws that shatter in there, 90%. They got to find their way over to the point. Dr. Smiles going down next, though. The Blizzard coming through. They're trying to take out the Hammond. They are successful in doing so. Now Gummy on that point still has that Death Blossom, the only ultimate actually that's going to be on the field in a second here. PMA
No shield.
quite a few picks, no shield. They're going to be able to get out Gummy, so they don't have to worry about that Death Blossom for too much anymore, considering they're now out of the fight. But this may still just freezing everybody on the point, making it so difficult for them, trying to hold on a little bit longer. Akron was able to get this point up to 99. It looks like it's going to be flipping over to the side of Scion, though. Maybe they stall for a little bit longer. They're going to want to back off, though. They're already at 99%, and now coming up in the last team fight.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to make sure that they had the whole team, together. They've got like 10%. If they can get to the point, I think they might be able to push through it. Brigitte ultimate is not that great. They're just really going to have to watch out for the defense blossom. Hammond already on the point, and this is going to be an intense last fight. Could we be where we see Akron come through?
Yeah, but right now initiating with the Coalescence and the Beast, so that's both those support ultimates used. They're able to stay up a little bit longer. Gummy using that Death Blossom, able to take out Dr. Smiles as they continue on this point here. Right now, the only pick, though, being on to Dr. Smiles. Magic going down, no mech at their disposal. The mines now on point. Could make it a little bit more difficult for them to kind of engage in and try to find those targets that they want to pick off on the side of Scion, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The Blizzard's now gone down. Gummy able to pick up 2 more in this fight. Log taking out Jaden. Now, the second round going over to Scion.
Man, that was close. We saw 2 99 percentiles there, and that's what I like to see here. I love watching the close matches, and that was so exciting. We saw Akron doing amazing work. We saw Scion bring themselves back up and meet Akron at the center of the point and win round 2, right? Like that was a treat to see. But man, I thought Akron had it there for the beginning. They were being a little bit dominant. Something that I noticed is that Scion's composition was a lot better at holding the point because they had Reinhardt and that kind of wall composition. Their backline was defended, so they were hard to flank. But, Hammond and Diva and Moira were able to get through the Mei ice wall when Akron decided to pressure on the second attack after they had lost the point. And somehow the Scion's defense had failed. Ooh, Stun It going down to Diva, or Mei.
Yeah, now losing out on both of their DPS, actually. I think that Jaden as well, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for them to try to hold on to this point, or rather get it in the first place here. It looks like they're probably just going to want to back up. They don't want to get super aggressive knowing they don't have their DPS there quite yet. But of course, Scion on that Hammond is just going to be like, I'll go in here and see if I can't try to do something. Hammond with a large enough health pool and fast enough, is going to be able to get away out of a lot of those fights. But it looks like right now that's not going to be the case for Worthy, considering Log on that Mei is going to be able to stop them from going too fast and getting too far away. So now it looks like they're just going to regroup the point, going over to Scion to start.
Yep, Scion kind of just getting the kills all over, right? Like, Akron was pretty split up, and their positioning is a little bit, it was a little bit divided on that first fight. So they got to focus back up and rally and bring it.
Speaking of rally.
Scion. Yeah, speaking of rally, we have the Brig rally, right?
Yeah, right now, using that to try to go through here and secure a few more kills right now, just staying at their spawn doors, being very dominant. Scion want to end it here. They have the round. They know that this could potentially be their last round. Now building it up to about 50% here, waiting for all their team to get back. Worthy maybe making a switch. It looks like they're going to decide not to go out and use the mines and just switch the Genji right now. And actually a really good pin on the Gummy. He kind of jumps around the corner using a high noon, but he gets taken out immediately. The mines now into the front of the spawn, and the Blizzard as well is going to be able to take out 2. Worthy just has to back up now, but it's so difficult for them considering those mines are there. But another pin putting through quite a bit of damage. Doesn't look like they're going to actually be able to win this fight, but I mean, it was a fun fight to watch, especially that pin that I don't think Gummy was exactly ready for.
Definitely not. He was in the middle of that high noon, and despite being able to now turn his cursor, he can't really dodge a pin like that. Scion forced to give a ton of space to Akron, but there's only one fight left for Akron, really. They're at 85%. They're going to have to go straight to the point and watch out for everything that Scion has in store for them on the way. As they make it there, though, Worthy able to hold up his shield, protecting his team as their backline is assaulted by Psy.
Yeah, right now this Mei wall going down in the beat as well, following that to try to keep up their players for a little bit longer. And a pretty good Shatter is going to be able to pick up 2 here. And actually now, more of the players from Scion are going down as this point made its way up to 99. Akron might be able to just hold on for a little bit longer. They might be able to capture this. And now they have in the back Log just staying up for a little bit longer. Now going down, and it's looking pretty good for Akron right now. Looking at the ultimates, it's not too crazy in one side's favor. Nitch is going to have that Coalescence, and Psy's going to have the Mines. And actually, speaking of the Coalescence, both of them are coming out right now. Psy going in for a little bit of a slam to see if they can't get anything. Doesn't look like they are going to be able to. And as they back up now, stuck on the point, PMA running in here with this Reinhardt just swinging away.
Oh no!
Worthy going down, but Gummy as well going down. Having that Reinhardt gone, though, could be a little bit more of a hindrance. Magic using that ultimate. It looks like they might be able to pick up a kill here, but the May, of course, is using that ice block to stay in there. Scion still doesn't look like they're going to be able to win this team fight, though. Now, Jaden picking up 2. Stunape able to take out the counterpart with Log on the May. They're going to be able to hold on this for a little bit longer.
I definitely agree. They're already at 50%. 2 ults on both sides. The May freezes are going to be huge here. And while Gummy may be able to get a nice quick pick, the Death Blossom in conjunction to that, or in opposition to that, could be way more effective. So they're going to have to get the best value possible out of their ultimates here. And looks like the Blizzard from Log may be doing its job.
Yeah, looks like the Blizzard from both sides actually not really seeing too much value. Dr. Smiles, though, going down is going to be pretty valuable for the side of Scion as they move in. Here, the Death Blossom coming through, trying to get something done with that, but everybody's so far away, just able to put in that damage. Midtown, man, using this Coalescence, able to take out PMA. The Shatter comes through. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to pick up anybody. Now Worthy losing his shield, staying on the point for as long as possible. Really, now it is just the Lucio and the Baby Diva staying up for a little bit longer. Now just being Dr. Smiles. Now we are in overtime, 99%. No one's going to be able to make it in time, and it looks like Scion are going to be able to take the first match of the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl 3-0.
Well, that was quite impressive there. Scion living up to their name as former champions. Hopefully they're going to, not hopefully, but they are bringing the same level of competition as previous. And Akron, just right below the level of Scion, fairly dominating from Scion's perspective, but Akron definitely no slouch. They won like a whole map on Busan, and each time it was still a fight. So, guys, remember to vote in the MVP poll. Now is the time where we have a little bit of time for you to vote before we get the interviewee on the air. And yeah, vote for your favorite player, person you thought made the most impact, as we move into the post game here.
Yep, and I mean, pretty good today. Unfortunately, University of Akron are going to be moving down to that lower bracket, but there's no need to worry. They're not out of the fight yet. They still are going to be able to try to make their way through the bracket down there. And honestly, watching Akron face up against Scion, of course, being, like we said before, last season's winners, taking home that prize pool. And now I'm just kind of thinking to myself, Akron they still did an all right job. They were able to take a map off of Scion, which Scion was looking absolutely dominant, and frankly, they were able to go through last season's, the whole lower bracket pretty much, and not get knocked out at any point. They were able to take out a Stray 3-0, and then Citizens, I think they also 3-0'd them, if my memory is correct. Maybe it was a 3-1. I could be wrong. It just happened the other day, but I don't have the world's best memory. It happens. But still, Scion, a very dominant team. So Akron, they did a really good job. I feel like on Busan, starting to get their footing a little bit. So even though they are going to be moving in that lower bracket, maybe still a team you want to keep your eye on. Definitely.
Playing Scion is going for the biggest boss in your, in Skyrim, going for your biggest boss in Skyrim first when you're level 1. Not necessarily that big of a gap, but Akron now knows what it takes to compete in this league, and they may formulate or reformulate their strategy accordingly. They've got lots of resources to do that as being part of a university team, and they have the motivation, right? They're basically tier 3 college competing team. So Scion, amazing. Akron, they've got a lot of potential. So great match tonight, and I'm excited to see what both teams do in the future. Whether Scion might be knocked into the losers bracket, or not the losers bracket, but the lower bracket, and run through there. I don't know. There's a lot in store for the future.
Yeah, and I think it'll kind of, be fun to see these teams still make their way through. Of course, keeping our eye on Scion, mostly considering they were last season's finals champions winners. But now, as we, kind of have this little bit of a downtime before the interview comes through, don't forget to follow Star Esports here on Twitch. Also, go over to our Twitter, our YouTube, and join us on Discord. Go ahead and make sure you keep up with all the action.
Yep. Now, your MVP has been decided. We are with Niche here in the box. How do you feel after the match?
What's up? Feeling good after the match win. It's been nice. Glad to be back again. Another Star Esports tournaments. I always love playing these.
Yeah, so you were in All-Star Brawl 4. Did you participate in any way previously before that?
Yeah. When we first got together as a team, we competed, I believe, in 3, and then
Okay.
I want to say we got 3rd. I remember we lost to Old Man Strength and another team. I don't remember who else we lost to, and then we won the last one. So we're hoping to win it again this season.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, definitely there is potential there. You did great against Akron. You know, they're a college team, right? So they've got plenty of funding and
Yeah,
experience under their belt.
for sure.
So, how do you feel you made like a big difference in the match? You were voted MVP. Why do you think you were voted MVP?
I don't know. I think we like changed a lot of things. This match, like in previous matches, we just kind of stick to meta, stick to what we run. Today we kind of pulled a bunch of different things out. For sure. I don't know exactly. We just kind of, I feel like we've started to build a little more of a following. I think I've been interviewed so many times to the point where people just kind of recognize me and vote. I don't know.
Sure, no, that's definitely a reason popularity contest and all. You know.
For sure.
I don't really have too many more questions right now. Zach, you got anything any burning questions?
I mean, congratulations, of course.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
starting off with the first match. And I mean, coming up against University of Akron, I don't imagine you really had much footage to go off of. I know you aren't really too much of like just obsess about it sort of team, but you guys still do a little bit of that VOD review and watching the games over. So
For sure.
did you guys do, or did you try to do any of that on the University of Akron?
Me personally, I didn't do any VOD review. I thought about doing some. I don't know where else they've played before, and I hadn't heard of them in collegiate because I have a lot of friends in collegiate, and if they were to like, they've heard like about our matches. If like, usually they'd warn me if we're going against like good collegiate teams, either in scrims and OD and tournaments, and I didn't really like hear from anyone about them. It's not like that. I'm not saying like they're bad or anything. I didn't hear anything from anyone, so I didn't have like this incentive to go out and really try to prep for them as much. There aren't too many teams that I'm thinking about prepping for. There might be a few VODs that I'm curious to see because I always love seeing the way different teams try like different play styles, because the meta like in tier 3 right now isn't super defined. Like there's a lot of like, at least with the backline, like a lot, like it's mostly Lucio, but then like some teams run Moira, some teams run BAP, some teams run Rig, and I like studying kind of the way that teams interact against each support line and how they play against it. So there's certain matches I'm looking into for VOD review, but I didn't really have anything to go off for them, so I just kind of left it.
Yeah, and while we're kind of on that topic of that backline, where is anything able to be switched up? I know you're the tank player, but do you think that maybe, who do you think is kind of the best pair with Lucio right now, or who's kind of maybe that underdog that's actually really good?
I don't really want to leak it specifically, but it's definitely not what you guys, or it's definitely not what the majority of tier 3 teams think. And we actually were very caught off guard in recent matches, not in Star Esports, that we were like, wait, this is actually better than what pretty much everyone in Star Esports has been running. So whenever we get into the bigger matches, there's some, not cheese, but some different comps that we're going to be probably bringing out, I would say, but it's not what you would traditionally think.
Yeah, that'll be exciting and fun to watch, and I believe that's all the questions we have for you today. So again, congratulations on winning the first match here, reigning champions, and of course, go ahead and plug anything you want to plug before we give you the boot.
Well, shout out to Log and Lols for ringing for us tonight, and shout out to just everybody on the team. Cohesion, like, we kind of joke about it because he's been like benched just because of meta lately, but like he kind of has like picked up this weird like coach player role with us where like he thinks certain things are good, and like we kind of like almost listen to him like a coach sometimes. I want to shout out to somebody I haven't shouted out my mom, who's been extremely supportive throughout the entire thing. Like she always like watches all my games with Star Esports. Shout out to my friends who just literally watch every match. I don't know. I have so much support behind me. Our entire team has so much support. I just want to like shout out to everybody that supports us, and shout out to my stream, twitch.tv/niche with 2_OW.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate coming in for this post-match interview.
Yeah, of course. See
All
ya.
right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. That being said, I think that brings an end for today's first broadcast. Don't forget that we will be having one in roughly another hour or so. Don't forget, follow us here on Twitch, but also head over to our YouTube, our Twitter, and join us on Discord to keep up with all the news. I've been Poor Zach here, play-by-play. You can find me over on twitch.tv/PoorZach, where you can pretty much find all my other socials, and I'm sure that you're going to be able to find Moshi Man somewhere.
Yeah, I've been Moshi Man, trying to do color for you guys tonight. You can follow me on Twitter at Diatomacious, or Moshi Man is like I've renamed it to that, just so you can, find me pretty easy. Or you can follow me on YouTube. I don't post Overwatch content there, but mostly other gaming related content. Anyways, really great casting with you, Zach, and I hope all the viewers and everyone else and the teams have a good night.
Yeah, it was a fun night, and make sure you all have a good night.